Hello and welcome. I'm Rossi Sanchez, and this is the Mindful Evening Hour. The Mindful Evening Hour is, in the words of one of my followers, not just another meditation thing. It's a bit of science, emotional intelligence, and a bit of story, peppered with my unique sense of humor. Every week, we take a 30-minute light but deep dive into common behaviors and relationship issues and use the power of focus to tap into who we truly are so we can start understanding, appreciating, and loving ourselves and those around us more and creating the life we came here to live. Thank you for being here tonight to uncover the fourth of our four-part LOVE series, Staying True to Yourself. Tonight, the sequence will be the following. First, I'll tell you a story. Then we'll do a mindfulness practice. And finally, there will be open sharing if desired. To start, I want to invite you to get comfortable and relax. We're going to breathe. If you're seated, place your feet on the floor. Roll your shoulders back. Let out your belly. Place your hands on your lap, open to the sky, and close your eyes. And let's take 3 deep and satisfying breaths. Breathe in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 8. One more time. Again. Nice. I was scrolling through yet another slew of eligible bachelors on my last dating site when a shy smile and a pair of beautiful almond eyes greeted me. There was goodness written all over them. I melted. 3 years ago, I met the man of my life. What a connection on every level. Intellectually, stimulating, physically, spiritually, well balanced. When we came together, you could literally see the sparks flying for blocks. No kidding. We got comments from waiters, store owners, and people on the street about the vibes they could feel emanating from us. Being together was bliss. Just knowing he was in my life was bliss. It became pretty evident that we were one of those matches made in heaven, and I was ready to walk into the sunset on the beach with him. Not so fast, Speedy G. You see, as I began to suddenly and utterly place all my attention on this man, he was doing a balancing act between me and his teenage daughter, to whom he's totally devoted. At the time, he had what seemed to me at least a very unusual parenting situation. For the sake of the child, him and his ex had decided that they would continue with a semblance of a marriage. He moved 3 miles away from them and was at their beck and call at all times. This was a triangle that he had created and that I was not allowed entrance to. And I wanted entrance. I wanted to be part of the drama, and there was plenty of it. And just like with my last ex, I wanted to help heal everybody's wounds. Heck, I can't even do CPR. I also wanted to be recognized for who I had become in his life. Everyone else knew, but those two ladies. He had his good reasons for keeping the status quo, but they don't really matter because this story is not about him. It's about me. Wait, you're probably thinking, it sure is about him. Yes, his situation was a bit unusual, but what's really important to understand is that people are in our lives as mirrors, reflecting back our own beliefs, feelings, and behaviors, both the stuff we love and the stuff we don't, or may not want to own up to, or may not even be aware of. After a while, what my reflection was showing me was that I had become needy, insecure, and was harboring feelings of rejection. He didn't cause these feelings. Those were my feelings. He was just there to stir them up for me so that I could recognize them and resolve them. Thanks to him, I'm now very aware of where they stem from and have been working on healing, or as I call it, shedding the hand-me-downs, the layers of clothing that we start to pile on from a very early age as reactions to labels or other people's behaviors. In hindsight, had I not had those feelings, I would have just focused on me. I have plenty of interest to keep me engaged for lifetimes, plenty of things to keep me busy, plenty of friends to play with. I mean, don't get me wrong, while dating him, I still led my life and did my thing, but my mind was always with him. I was not in the moment. Everywhere I went, I wished for him to be with me. I look back on that now and chuckle because I know that so many of the things that I was doing, I truly enjoyed doing with friends, family, or by myself, that he didn't need to be there. Yet it felt like the moment wasn't perfect unless he was. I remember telling him that what I loved most about our relationship was that I could be myself with him until I wasn't. After several of our intermittent breakups, I became this person who wanted to hear that she was loved and admired when I knew very well that that was the case. I remember us driving back from our last date and as if from above, listening to myself utter something like, I just need to know you care. And thinking at that moment to myself, is this really you, Rossi? I didn't recognize myself. I consider myself a very self-sufficient person, always have. Needy is just not an adjective I identify with. We're no longer together, as you may have surmised, and the why is simple. We both had to tend to what was most important for each of us. For him, it's being the best dad he can be. For me, it's being the best version of myself I can be. That's a never ending process. And it starts with self awareness, the type of awareness that only comes from tapping into your peaceful, joyful, loving self through meditation. I keep thinking our story hasn't ended, that it's a matter of time, that we will connect again and then we'll walk off together into the sunset on the beach. But even if that doesn't happen, I now know that no matter how grand a connection and a love are, there's no greater connection and love than the one with myself. Also, having found my sense of purpose since we parted ways, I know for a fact that I'll never again be more focused on another human being than on me and the work I'm doing. If that sounds selfish, that's the aspiration. Because you can't give what you don't have. And if you're not full of yourself, literally full of love, self-worth, and self-compassion, you can't give unconditional love, support, and compassion to another. Not unconditionally. Not without expecting something in return on some level, conscious or unconscious. Not really. Not ever. And that's what I aspire to do. What about you? Are you ready to lean back into awareness and start filling yourself up with some of that wonderful unconditional love? I think you're saying yes. So let's get into it. Let's do a mindfulness practice. Whether you're seated or lying down, get comfortable. If seated, place your feet on the floor. Roll your shoulders back and down. Place your hands on your lap, open to the sky, and let your belly come out to play. Close your eyes. And again, let's take 3 deep and satisfying breaths. You want to breathe in for a count of 4 and breathe out for a count of 8. Feel your rib cage as you exhale. Let's do that again. One more time. Start to breathe normally again and focus on your breath. Notice how it feels when it enters your nostrils and fills up your lungs, and how it feels as it leaves your body. Just follow its trajectory. If any thoughts, sounds, or sensations arise, acknowledge them and let them go. And get back to focusing on your breath. Let's do that for 1 minute. Now imagine that you're standing in your favorite place in the whole wide world. This could be the beach, the mountains, the forest, a favorite room, your backyard, any place that brings you peace and joy. I want you to imagine that there is someone just like you. In fact, it is you, standing right behind you. Your doppelganger, your twin, your inner you. This inner you is clothed in your favorite color from top to bottom, and she's glowing. Her glow is so powerful that it flows right through you, making you feel safe, warm, appreciated, respected, and adored. Just stand there and feel how that feels. Witness how every cell in your body lights up as it is infused with this loving glow. Now start scanning your body and notice how it feels, again, as it is awash in that loving glow. Start at the top of your head. Travel down to your face. Feel your forehead, your eyes, cheeks, nose, your mouth, your lips. Feel your ears. Feel your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your arms, hands, and fingers. Feel your back as it is awash in that loving appreciation, like a warm summer's hug. Feel your torso, your hips, your thighs, your legs, your feet, and your toes. Now stand there and imagine yourself emanating that love out into the world. Start with your loved ones, your neighbors, co-workers. Extend that glow to people you may not even like, and notice how that feels. Extend it to those you may see often, but don't really know. Now expand your glow to cover your city, your state, the country, the planet. For the next minute, let your loving glow cover the whole of the earth. As you stand there in front of your inner you, visualize her putting her hands on your shoulders, softly, lovingly, and notice what that feels like on your body. Now place your hands on top of hers in recognition of your bond. Now take her hands and extend her arms out to the sides and wrap yourself around them in a warm, cuddling embrace. And notice how that feels. After a while, gently free yourself from that cuddle and start to slowly turn around until you are face to face with your inner you, the loving, kind, peaceful, joyful, glowing inner you. How does that feel? Well, what are you waiting for? Give her a hug or just stand there for 1 minute. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Everyone back?
Yes, I am.
How did it feel to be, oh, just in case you're lagging, how did it feel to be face to face with your inner you? Did you actually visualize it?
Sometimes awkward, making eye contact with your inner self.
Yeah, this meditation came out of an experience that I had. And that was my first experience was, gosh, this is awkward. But yeah, after a while you become best friends. Just want to ask you, did the relationships as mirrors, that idea, did that strike you as odd or did it make sense to you? For those of you who heard the full story.
I don't think that I'm not ever. I don't think it's something that I want to admit, I guess sometimes that it's a mirror because you want to always assume that it's that you're beautiful and perfect and wonderful and and you're doing all these great qualities XYZ and such, and then to have kind of face to face,
Yeah,
sometimes it's a little like, oh, okay,
it is
so
me.
that's why he's in my life or not or whatever.
I remember I was in Victoria's Secret once with my last ex. And I'm waiting for this service. I'm waiting for this woman to come and help me. And I'm getting kind of upset because she's not coming to help me. And how dare she not come to help me? It's like, come on, I'm the customer. What's wrong with you? And and I'm thinking, wow, she won't even look at me and she won't even smile or anything. And my ex turns to me and he says, why are you being so rude? Because I was so it was eye-opening to me because when I talked, I guess I eventually talked to her and he was telling me what I was thinking about her. So that was a very eye-opening experience. I still remember. It's like, yeah, exactly. I was totally projecting onto her what I was doing or feeling. Right?
I think sometimes we have these expectations of behaviors of people, but we're not in fact doing the behaviors ourselves, right? And like, well, that person should go first. That person should be not rude first, or should whatever. And the truth is that we can't control any of those other people. We can only control how we're going to be acting, and that their behavior shouldn't dictate how we're acting
No,
is sort of where I've come to, especially now. It's really hard in COVID time and holiday time, COVID and holidays, like it's.
but yeah, but I mean, the reverse is also true. If I had been standing there with, big wide smile on my face, eager for her to come greet me, that's what would have happened. Yeah, it's what we put out and then just is reflected back. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? No?
No.
Well, we've come full circle in this 4-part LOVE series. In Falling in Love with You, we learned that we need to tap into the love that's inside of us first, and then we can open up and share that love with others. In You Can't Fix Anyone, we saw that we can't do for others what only they can do for themselves. That healing is a very personal thing that again starts with loving and accepting oneself. In Getting Back to You, we sort of unraveled our values and passions in order to define our sense of purpose and go after our wildest dreams. And tonight, with Staying True to Yourself, we recognize that no matter what relationship we're in, it's only when we love ourselves unconditionally that we can love another the same way. The beauty is that while we're always going to be work in progress, once you reach a certain level of knowing that comes through self-awareness, you don't go back. It's not something that you may understand intellectually 1 minute and then forget the next. It's who you become. Actually, it's who you already are. You're just now aware of it. Next week, because I want you to get your money's worth, I'm going to throw in a bonus. Defining yourself will include an interactive session like the one from last week to get you thinking about how you define yourself and recognizing the magnificence that is you. Because yes, we're all magnificent. I'm going to be introducing you to the 3+ things I love about myself. It's a photojournalism project for women I launched last year, and to a few special guests who will be talking about their experience as they went through the project. So I hope you'll join me next Wednesday. By the way, if you're enjoying these programs, I would ask that you please share the content on YouTube with anyone that you think may benefit from it, and like and subscribe to my Mindful Evenings channel. For now, I'm Rosy Sanchez. I thank you again for coming. And this is the Mindful Evening Hour. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rossi.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Just, thank you, Rossi.
Thank you.